Most people who experience Scenic Eclipse once say it changed the way they think about travel. My guest today has done it 4 times in 4 completely different corners of the world. Not a coincidence, that's intention. Welcome back to another Insider session. Today, I'm thrilled to be joined by Lisa Vermaak, owner of Blu Skyy Travel. Lisa is truly one of the most experienced Scenic Eclipse voices I know. She has now sailed on Scenic Eclipse or Scenic Eclipse 2 4 times, visiting Baja California, Fiji, and Iceland, and now the Mediterranean. That kind of repeat experience across 4 completely different regions of the world tells you everything you need to know about what she thinks of this product. Today, we're going to talk about her most recent voyage, the Mediterranean Wonders, French and Italian Rivieras, an 8-day journey around the French and Italian Rivieras. Welcome, Lisa. Thank you for joining me.
Thanks, Garrett. So fun to be here with you on your new podcast. I love it.
Excellent. Thanks, Lisa. And tell us about yourself and Blu Skyy Travel.
Yeah. So, again, like you said, my name is Lisa Vermaak. I live in Cincinnati, Ohio. And I started my company, which is Blu Skyy Travel, back in February of 2017. So, we're coming up on our 10-year anniversary, which is really cool. And when I started my company, it was just me. It was just me, myself, and I at Blu Skyy Travel. About a year into it, I started growing so fast that I needed to duplicate myself. So fast forward till today, we've got 15 agents in Blu Skyy Travel, which is really cool. But yeah, so we specialize in the tropics, exotics, and mega yachts.
Well, congratulations on your success, and
Thank you.
we're very happy to partner with you and work with you. So thank you, Lisa. So before we dive
Yeah.
in, let me quickly set the stage for listeners who may be new to Scenic Eclipse.
Mm.
Scenic Eclipse is an ultra luxury discovery yacht carrying just 228 guests, designed to access ports and anchorage that larger ships simply can't reach. Everything is included: butler service, all dining, drinks, scenic free choice excursions at every port, and dedicated crew who generally know your name by day 2, maybe 1.
Mm.
It's fundamentally different way to experience the world. So how did you start selling Scenic Eclipse?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I'm gonna give you a little bit of a background. So, like I said, I started off on my own, and the things that I was really passionate about and that I loved to sell were all-inclusive resorts, which I still love and I still love to sell. But I really just didn't like cruising. I just didn't like cruising. I'm just not a cruiser. The thought of getting on a big ship with thousands of people, waiting in line and being around all those people just literally just freaks me out. I just don't like it. So I never really pushed cruises because I didn't know it myself. And it just wasn't something I was interested in until I had a business development manager with Scenic before you came on board, Garrett, that asked me if I would apply for a trip, a travel agent trip to get to know Scenic Eclipse. And when I found that invitation and I read it, I was stunned, first of all, because I the first time I saw Scenic Eclipse on a board in one of our conferences, I was like, man, that's the sexiest ship I've ever seen. And that is just make a huge dream of mine to actually like be on something like that, just because it's just so cool. But I'm like, I'm not gonna ever get there because I don't have clients like that, and I don't think I'm ever going to do that. So fast forward to his request of me, and I said, hey, I said, thank you so much for this offer, but I don't sell cruises and I'm not a cruiser and I don't want to take a place from someone who actually cruises. And he goes, Lisa, you sell all inclusives, right? And I said, yeah, that's what I love selling. He goes, well, Scenic Eclipse is completely all inclusive, totally all inclusive. And I'm like, okay, but that still doesn't take away that it's a cruise ship. I don't do cruises. He's like, Lisa, but it's not, he's like, it's literally not what you're thinking. It's not what you're thinking about the mass, market cruise ships. He goes, just trust me, give it a try. So long story short, I gave it a try. Me and my husband, David, we went to Sea of Cortez, and that's where the cruise was on. And there was a few other travel agents on there with us. And I was stunned. I was shocked. I mean, obviously, from the outside, you look at it and it's just such a stunning ship. But as soon as you walk on, it's completely different. There are no lines, there are no crowds. People do know your name on day one. And it's just completely different. So, long story short, I told him, I said, okay, I'm going to start doing groups on this ship. I love this ship. So within 1 year, we had our first group put together. And then this is when you came on board, and you worked with me on my very first group to Fiji, and that was a huge success. And then after that, we went on and did a group to Iceland, and then just now last week we were in the Med with another group, and I've got 2 other groups right now on the books. So that is how I started selling Scenic Eclipse.
Amazing. So how has this experience changed how you then talk to your
Mhm.
clients about scenic and how to fit that right client to
Yeah.
the scenic experience?
Yeah. So anybody who really doesn't like the crowds, like I said, and who likes an all-inclusive experience. So I have clients and who were just like me, and they're like, "Lisa, we don't like the cruise. We don't want to cruise." And I know if they were on here with me, they would be like, "Oh, Lisa was so right," because I got them on Eclipse, and they're like, "This isn't a cruise. This is a yacht." Like there is no comparison. So if you're an agent listening to this, and you have clients who they love all inclusives and they're diehard all inclusives, but they're not cruisers, I would still offer them this product because it is unlike anything you've ever experienced. If you're a client on here looking to possibly do a mega yacht trip, again, it's completely different. There's also, if you are a cruiser, so I had just in the Med, I had one of my clients on with me, and she's like, "But I am a cruiser and I love cruising." And I'm like, "Well, then you're going to love this even more because it's cruising without all the people. It's cruising without all the, buffets that sit out for hours and just all the things that we don't like about typical mass market cruises. It's the exact opposite of that. So it's for pretty much anyone who loves a luxury experience, but casual luxury. So it's not pretentious. It's you can wear your jeans and your t-shirts throughout the day, your shorts and your t-shirts at night. Again, you dress up a little bit, but it's not fancy. You don't have to have a jacket. You don't have to have a glittery, sparkly dress for a night to dress up. It's very casual luxury. If you like to have personalized service, you like people to know your name, you like people to know what you are going to drink when you sit down. You don't even have to order it. Things like that. You have your own butler. It's literally everything you need in a vacation.
Yeah, we like to say a couple things about scenic when you talk about the inclusivity, that it's this walletless
Mhm.
experience.
Yeah.
And then some of my past guests who have sailed and repeat the same thing over and over again
Hmm.
is that the big ships, you come back after a tour on the ship, you go to your room, you get changed, you go to a pool. That could be an hour plus to do that. When you get onto the Eclipse, you can get
Hmm.
back on the ship into your room and you know exactly where your room is from day one. You're
Yeah.
not learning the layout of the ship. That is not something you have to
Hmm.
worry about because of the size of it. And second, she got into her room, changed back downstairs in within 30 minutes or less,
Yeah. You're
because the ship
totally
is
right.
just so easy to maneuver,
Yeah.
navigate, and the size just is perfect.
Yeah, we pretty much my husband and I take the stairs most of the time, because the rooms are either on deck 5, 6, 7, 8, or 9. So you've got those 5 decks that have your cabins in it. Most everything is either going to be on deck 4, 5, 7, or 10, and it's really easy just to go up the stairs. So you get a little workout in when you're going to all these places. But speaking of workouts, they have a great gym. They've got a Pilates studio, yoga. They have super fresh food all the time that you can have, that they're literally going off and getting fresh food and bringing it on the ships. So you're getting local food, which is really fun. But yeah, it's
What is also one of your favorite spots that you like to talk about, you and David, and on the ship that's
yeah,
6,000 square feet?
yeah. Well, it's probably the spa. The spa is incredible. And speaking about the inclusivity, so the spa treatments are not included, the treatments themselves, like the massages, the facials, and things like that. However, there's so much in the spa that is included. So you've got your steam room, you've got your sauna, you've got your red light therapy, you've got your salt room, you've got the pool in the back. All of that is included every single day. They open up around like 7 a.m. and they close around 7 p.m. So you have a whole day to go and do those things. So, like if you're in Antarctica or the Arctic and you've been outside and you're cold all day, you go back to your room, change real quick, go to the spa and sit in the sauna. If you're in the Caribbean and it's been, you're hot all day, you're like, I just want to get in the pool. There's a pool in the back. There's also cold plunge. So on Scenic Eclipse 1, there's a cold plunge pool. And on Scenic Eclipse 2, there's an ice room where you actually have, it's almost like a snow cone, snow cone ice you put in your hands and you rub it all over your body. It's pretty cool. So anybody who loves having that spa wellness experience would love this.
Amazing. So now you've sailed Scenic Eclipse 2 4 times, Baja, Fiji, Iceland, and now the Med. What keeps
Mhm.
bringing you back?
Yeah, so it's a twofold question. The ship itself and all the amenities and exclusivity and inclusivity of it. But first and foremost is going to be the staff. So the captains, the hotel directors, the bartenders, the waiters, the people who come in and your stewardess and things that cleans your room. Um, Everyone. I mean, they're this incredible. I've traveled a lot in the last 10 years since I've had my company. And so I've been able to compare a lot of companies, compare a lot of staff, and there's something completely different with the staff on Scenic Eclipse. The managers really care about the staff. They're treating them well, which makes the staff treat the clients very well. And it's you just have to experience it for yourself. But day one, you're going to start making friends with the staff on Eclipse. I have so many friends that are staff on Eclipse. Absolutely love them. And they're for people from all over the world. You've got South Africans, you got people from Vietnam, from the Philippines, from Nigeria, like all over the place. It's definitely the staff.
Have you ever had a coffee or tea in the bridge with the captain or the officers?
I haven't had coffee or tea with the captain, but I've had dinner with the captain. I just had dinner with Captain Irwin, and if anybody of you do not know Captain Irwin, you need to go on YouTube right after this interview, and you need to type in Maritime Masters, and you need to watch all of Maritime Masters because if you're an agent who has never sailed on Eclipse and you've never experienced it yourself, it'll give you a very good idea of what life on the ship looks like and what it'll look like for your clients. It's in a documentary. It takes people from California all the way down to Antarctica. And if your client who's thinking about sailing on Eclipse, it's also going to give you a really great idea of what it's like to sail. But yeah, I had dinner with Captain Irwin. It was fantastic just a couple days ago.
Love that. So having experienced an eclipse 4 different ways again, how
Mhm.
does the product hold up across the completely different itineraries that you've traveled on?
Yeah. So on Eclipse, you're going to have three different types of itineraries. So you're going to have a traditional cruise type itinerary, which we just did in the Mediterranean. And what that looks like is you either docking right there, the gangway going right down onto land, doing your traditional tours and activities that you would think about doing with a traditional mass market type of cruise. Still, Eclipse does the activities and excursions way more elevated than everything else, but it's just that kind of feel. You're docking, you're getting off, you're doing your tour, you're coming back on. And then you're also the tenders. So depending on the ports where you're at, some of the ports Eclipse can't dock. So you just take a tender over. But one thing I noticed when we were there, we were in, let's see, where were we? We were in Sardinia. It was our last day. And I opened up the window and I saw this big cruise ship way out in the distance. And that's how far that cruise ship had to be because of how large it was. It couldn't get as close as we were. And then I looked at us and where we were to the dock, even though we still had to tender in because it was a very small little port we were going into, we were so close to the port because Eclipse is so much smaller than those big mass market cruises. So that was really cool. What was your question? Where am I going? I totally lost track.
Just asking you how the product
Oh,
stood
yeah,
up
yeah,
in
yeah.
all of
So
the
let me
different
yeah, yeah, yeah.
regions, from
So
polar to the Med
yes,
to
thank you.
South Pacific.
Yes, so there's the 3 different ways. So that's cruising, just regular, like, tour cruising. Second is discovery. So our Fiji trip that we took in Iceland, would be considered a discovery cruise. So you're going to have the zodiacs out, which are my absolute favorite thing. To get on a zodiac, to go and to just take the zodiac right up onto the beach. If you're like doing Caribbean or you're doing Fiji, Iceland, we went right up next to the really cool like mountain areas, and you saw the puffins up close. And so discovery is probably my favorite way to travel with Eclipse so far. But then one step above that, which I haven't done yet, but it's on my list, is expedition. So you have expedition in Antarctica. They also go to Arctic, which I think Arctic you might is that discovery still, or is it expedition?
It's a mix of expedition
It's a
discovery.
mix. Okay.
Yeah.
Yeah, but you have those 3 types, and I would say as an agent, you need to know 100% what you're selling to your client, because there could be people who wanna see Iceland but have mobility problems and maybe can't get on and off that zodiac, or even get from the zodiac up to, a location where they're going to be climbing up a mountain or taking a hike or something like that. So just make sure that you know what kind of mobility your client has, because some clients might not be able to do all of that. But they are very good at, if you do have clients with mobility problems, they really still want to do the cruise. They are very good at helping, but just be aware of that.
Yeah, that's good information to share. And like you said, we do try our best to help as
Hmm.
much as we possibly can. But there
Yeah.
is some time, especially on the expedition side, where it is
Yes.
a little challenging for those who have some mobility.
Yeah.
So you mentioned that you're working or you have a couple groups in the future coming on.
Yeah.
I'd love to hear more about them. And then also, how do you keep them interested in following you around the
Mm.
world?
Yeah. Yeah, so our 2 groups that we have upcoming are for the Caribbean. We have one group on Scenic 1 and one group on Scenic 2, and what's really cool about these groups, that I'm doing then, is the 2 ships will be very close to each other, so I'm hoping that they'll actually see each other somewhere in the middle. Fingers crossed on that. So yeah, I still have space on both. Very limited space, like very limited space. But if anybody's interested, they can reach out to me. Yeah, and then how I keep clients interested. So all the clients that travel with me on my groups, whenever I do have group space that comes out on Eclipse, they're the first ones to know. And I do have a travel club. It's called Mega Lux Travel Club. You can go onto Facebook and go to Megalux. You have to be invited by me or accepted by me. It's not a public Facebook group, but you're more than welcome to join. If you're an agent, I'm so sorry, but you cannot join that one. But I do have an agent Facebook page. If you want to learn some tips and tricks from me, you can do that. It's called Level Up TA. But yeah, so my Megalux group, I will post things on Facebook. I will send emails out. I will call people individually and tell them what I have up my sleeve and see if they want to join us. And then also, we also do usually events. So when we have a big group that we're wanting to promote, if you're an agent on here, you're wanting to promote groups, I highly suggest getting a hold of Garrett if he's your BDM, or if Garrett's not your BDM, reaching out to your BDM of Scenic and Emerald and asking them to say, hey, how can we do a live event? Because live events, typically when we do them, we usually either sell out or we almost sell out, because you can really explain your group, what it looks like, what it looks like to travel with you. Usually have some really awesome specials that you can get. You can talk to your BDM about those. But yeah, we have such a great following of the group that has already traveled with us and through Megalux.
Lisa, thank you so much for joining me today and for sharing your perspective so openly, not just
You're
on this
welcome.
voyage, but on what the four Scenic Eclipse sailings has meant to you and your business. Conversations like this are exactly what Insider Sessions is all about: real experience, insight from advisors, owners who have genuinely been there. If you'd like to connect with Lisa Vermaak from Blu Skyy Travel, whether to learn more about Scenic Eclipse experiences or explore group sailing opportunities, or simply talk to someone who has sailed this product across four incredible destinations, reach out to her directly. And as always, thank you for tuning into another Insider Session. If you found today's conversation valuable, please share it with a fellow advisor. You'd appreciate it. We will see you next time. Thank you,
Thanks.
Lisa.
Thanks, Garrett. Bye, everybody.